Radio. This is OPY with me, coming to you every Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. This is the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show, the home of State versus Us magazine, WMSK. We are moving up in the world. Make sure you're checking us out on the website, wmskonlineradio.com. Just check us out. We love to hear from you. Tonight, I have my co-host, Mr. Wesley Hawkins, in the building, as well as Aisha. Always give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, let them know what projects they have, let you know what projects going on, give them some love. Wesley.
How y'all doing? Again, this is Wesley Hawkins tuning in. I am the president of the Neeuq Project, which is a mentorship program located here in Baltimore, but we also mentor kids in D.C. Just trying to do what we can do and give back and do things like that. Working on planning a nice fundraiser for, to gather some funds and put things together. But you can contact us at 424-653-7663, or you can email me at THENOLITAPROJECTINC@gmail.com, or you can check the website out at www.dearnolita.org. And I'm Wesley Hawkins.
All right. Aisha.
Hello, world. Well, I don't have any projects. This is my project, just being on a radio station. This is my first stepping stone.
All right. That's the next Wendy Williams. She's in training. All right, y'all. So tonight, what are we going to talk about? I do have a question. Last week, after we left, we didn't have the chance to be blessed by Wesley last week. So, we had a nice calm show, no arguing. But it's on because he's back.
I'm back. The turn up is real.
Yes.
I'm back.
So now, we're going to be going in tonight. But I had a question, and I wanted to know what people thought about this. Do you love yourself more than you love your mate?
Of course, I love myself more than I love my mate because I'm single.
All you have is self-love.
Right.
So when you were in a relationship, did you love yourself more than you loved your mate?
I would say I did love myself more than I love my mate. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Wesley, before I ask my next question?
No, I didn't. In my last relationship, I didn't love myself more than I loved my mate. And I've learned that since I've been out of a relationship and, getting myself together and figuring out certain things about life and relationships with people and relationships with just everyone in general. I didn't love myself more than I love my mate. When I was in a relationship, I, did any and everything under the sun that I could do to be, a caretaker and a provider and a lover and a protector and all those things, which I believe a man should do in all circumstances. But there were plenty of times when it was time for me to do something that was good for me and a blessing for me and upwards for me, the other person wasn't all for that. Mm-hmm. But when it was time for them to do stuff for them and their family and their friends and their network, then I had to be all in. And I was all in. But it took, for me to really pay attention and see, but it's not just always about you. It's not always about your dreams. It's not always about your wants. It's not always about, the things that you're working on in life. What about your partner? And being out of the relationship, I've learned, there are a lot of people in this world who actually give up a lot of their dreams and aspirations and what they actually want out of life for somebody else. And I don't feel like a relationship should be that. I feel like a person should still be able to follow after the things that they are, what their heart and mind is. But you can do things as one, in my personal opinion. And I didn't do that. I gave up certain things that I might should have or wouldn't have when I, just me. Okay. But, so to answer the question, yes, I love my mate more than I love myself. But today I wouldn't walk those same steps.
Okay. So Aisha, what does it mean? Like, how does it look to love yourself more than loving your mate? How does that look?
Some people would think that it's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
To each his own. It's different. I guess being a Black woman, we have to endure a lot. So we have to do a lot of stuff by ourselves. And sometimes it's not by choice. Sometimes it's by force.
Okay.
So when you do get in a relationship and you've been the strong woman, the strong figure, you got your own house, your own car, you paying your own bills, you know how to do for yourself. And when somebody try to come in, and it seems like they're trying to take over, but they're really not trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, wow, wait, hold back. I don't want you to think that you can run all over me because I can handle this myself. It's like the power struggle.
So that right there, I don't know.
I knew it.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that.
Girl
Because
power.
I think, no. See, I can't tell y'all how to live. Y'all grown, women. But I have a problem with that because sometimes a man can genuinely be wanting to, love, take care, and nurture a woman. And you have so many women out here that, and again, she know what my first stance is. I feel like a lot of this start because a lot of the men are failing. So since the men are failing, now women get into these positions where as though they have to be a protector of themselves. They have to be a provider for themselves. They have to be a nurturer and a caregiver for themselves. So I feel like a lot of our men are failing, and that's why our women are taking on these roles. So once you get a man that doesn't fit that mold, now there's a problem with that woman and that man because they're fighting for power because she's screaming out girl power and I'm independent and I can do this on my own. And he's saying, but let me love you. Let me care for you. Let me take care of you. Let me be the man that I want to be. He's screaming that, like, let me be this man for you. And you saying, I can carry my own bills. I got my own chair. I open my own door. Like, it's literally women who out here are saying, no, I got my own. I can do this. I can do that. And all the man is literally trying to do is love you because that's the man that he is. But I will state, like I always state, I take it back to because a lot of our men are failing at a high rate that our women are forced to carry these traits and take on a lot of these positions. And they are molded now that way. So it's hard for them to just adapt to when a good man do come along. It's actually a TV show. Oh my gosh, it's a nice little TV show. It's a Black family and they farmers. Oh man. So I just started watching it. But it's a Black show and they're farmers. And I can't think of it, but I'm gonna think of it in a second. But they're farmers. And on there is a man who loves and adores this woman. He like adore her. He don't do nothing disrespectful. He always trying to take care of her. He always trying to support her. He's around her family, friends. Everything he try to do for everything is, no, I got this, I got this. And he be seeing her be tired. He see her work herself too. She's sick. He see her do all this stuff, and everything is always, I got this, I got this. And he gets frustrated. Right. And he be like, all I'm trying to do is love you. You won't allow me to do nothing for you. She started her own company and it started to grow. But while it was growing, she was struggling to baking pies. And when the pies took off, they wanted to be in the market. So by her getting that deal, she had to provide more pies. Right. She didn't have her own store to do this, make all these pies and reach the demand. So she had to humble herself to go ask for somebody else's resources. With this, and all she wanted to do was say, I want to do this on my own. This is mine. I don't want no this and that and that and this. And it's like through the whole show, no matter how loving and caring this man is, she always arguing about what's hers and what she can do for herself. Right. And there's a lot of women out here that's going by that and they walking like that. Like if a man come in their life and try to love them and be with them and take care of them and uplift them, she's like, oh no, I got this. I can pay my own bills. I can pay for my own this. I can pay for my own that. And he's not saying I want to take your power away from you
Right.
and make you just listen to everything I'm doing. He said, that's the type of man that I am. And that's what I believe men should be doing. So let me love you. And that's my love language.
Right.
You know, so.
So you're saying that independence looks much different than loving yourself more than loving
Yeah. That's totally different. I don't think loving yourself in a relationship is the same as trying to be independent in a relationship. Because if you still screaming independence, why are you even in that relationship? See, I think, it's just my personal opinion. I think a lot of people get confused on why they even with somebody. Like, getting in a relationship, things are supposed to become easy. Your burden, the weight that you lift, the weight that you carry, everything in life should become easy. It shouldn't be still heavy and hard for you, or you shouldn't still be carrying everything alone if you're in a relationship. Because at that point, why are you there?
So I think it's going to be a very hard thing to break when a woman is used to, handling her own. So it would have to take a really strong man who can do a whole lot to make her give that up. Because then, remember I made the point about losing yourself in any type of relationship. You're asking her to give up a whole lot and then you not be worth it. Where does that leave her?
But at the same time, why? She just made that statement of you asking her to give up a whole lot and you're not worth it. You actually can run that man away and he could be worth it. But you running away a daggone good man because you making everything such a hard time for him. And I just spoke to a young lady that I know that's going through the same exact similar situation. And I don't know the guy, but what she says, it sounds like he's a good man. And only thing I could tell her is, look, don't run this good man away that you saying that's trying to be a part of your life because you trying to scream independence and you being stubborn. Because guess what? I don't feel like good people just come every day. And when you do get a good person in your life, you can't run that person out the door because you're like, oh no, I can do this, I can do that. Like, what's the point then? Why date? Why be with somebody?
To say that they with somebody. That's what some people would do.
Okay, so you date just to say that you're with someone?
Some people do. Not me personally. I don't do that. I'm still single as a dollar bill. Just putting that out there.
Okay. So, so ladies that are watching in the audience, I am wondering what it looks like. What's the difference with loving yourself more than your mate and being that independent woman? Do you feel like when women stand on their own 2 feet and, do everything that they need to do you think they're running away good men because of their independence? How exactly does that look? We were talking on break about domestic violence. We were talking about a celebrity couple. Their issues look a lot different than ours on a realistic level. So, it's no secret. I've been a domestic violence victim. We probably talked about this several times on the show already. But, when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, I had a baby by this guy. And, he didn't just physically abuse me. It was a point of emotional abuse, isolating me from family and friends, financial abuse because he didn't work. So I was going out and I was working. I was taking care of the household and everything like that. His job, I guess, was to sit home, raise a child. Can't say how good of a job he was doing at that. But, that was the arrangement that we had. And then eventually it got to be where he became physically abusive. And one day I had been working. I came home because I had a chance to get some clothes for myself, get some hair, just do things that I wasn't normally able to do because I had all of this responsibility. So I was going to, go out and things like that. So I'm preparing to get ready for the day, glued all of this hair in my head. I'm ready. I'm going out. So, I have, everything laid out. He didn't like that because I didn't buy him anything. My concern was myself, my child, or whatever. You already living here for free. So, as I'm getting ready to go out, you know, we lived in this little place where it had like a banister so he can stand at the top. And as I'm going down the steps, he reaches over and slaps the cowboy shit out of me. So I came back upstairs. 2 weeks before this, he actually held a knife to my throat and said, oh, if I can't have you, nobody will. So I learned from that fight and I took all of the knives out. So when I went back up the stairs, what do you think I went to get?
Knife.
Absolutely. So I was willing to go to jail this particular day. Because after you've gone through it for so long,
you get tired.
You get tired. So, you know, we got into this big old fight. You know, I didn't get a chance to stab him, which was good because I'd probably been in jail for the rest of my life. But he ran out, he called the police, and they came. And they did allow me to, you know, make arrangements for my daughter or whatever before they took me to jail. But, you know, at that time, domestic violence laws changed.
Right.
So make sure, ladies, if you want to fight back, make sure you know the consequences because if you hit him, because he hit you, you're both going. So, you know, it used to be that, you know, if he hit you, you know, you hit him back, but he's going to jail because he's the aggressor. That has changed. So don't fall for it. So, you know, it's a hard situation to be in. And a lot of times I was asked why I stayed.
Right.
So why do y'all think people stay? Why do y'all think women stay from your experiences?
They're scared.
I think that's deep. Me personally, I think that's deep for, you know, different situations. I think every situation is different. You can have some women that they might have grew up seeing that, you know, and if they grew up seeing that, now they think that might be a part of love. That might be a part of a relationship. That might just be something that people go through in a relationship. Because I spoke, you know, to some women who feel like, you know, that just what happens. That's what happens in a relationship. Men and women fight. People fight. They get physical. I know some people really think like that. Be like, you know, that's what happens. But like, you know, like you just said, some women might be scared. They really might be scared for their child's safety, their own safety. They feel like if they leave or do something, stop. If they leave or do something, the child's going to get hurt, or they're going to get hurt, or things like that. Some people might think, you know, nobody else is really going to want them. You never know what's going on in somebody's mind because, you know, like we spoke of before, mental health is very big.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know what love feels like. A lot of people don't know how to properly love somebody else or how to properly be loved. And that's something that I had to learn and walk through and you know, experience in life. Because growing up with a mother that never, in my opinion, knew how to properly love me or show me how to be loved or show me how a woman should treat you or show me, you know, what good woman or good mother is. I never saw that and had that experience from my mother. Because my mother, you know, like, you know, a lot of people know, my mother was strung out on drugs from the time I was born. So I never knew how it felt to love a woman or for a woman to love me. Only thing I knew was since I saw her being mistreated so much, I thought, okay, I have to try to be the best man I could be because I saw that's not what I wanted to treat a woman like. But I still didn't see a healthy man and woman relationship. But I didn't allow that to be my excuse for me to run around and be abusive and stuff like that. But I'm not everybody. So what I'm saying is you never know what people are going through. So, you know, she might have seen that growing up. So she think, okay, this is what it is. So she might be afraid. So it's just a lot in my opinion.
Yeah, it didn't happen in my household, but you know, I was so young, I was so impressionable. So imagine I'm 16, you know, he's drawing a wedge between me and my family and things like that. And, you know, I already was having issues at my mother's house, you know, and stuff like that. So I'm figuring like I'm rescued, right? So, you know, so I'm thinking, you know, I'm grown, I got to do this on my own. And, you know, this is how it should be or whatever, because again, going through ups and downs, this is how it's supposed to be and all that other kind of stuff. So I never really thought of it until later on, you know, but again, I loved him a lot more than I loved myself. Right. So that's why I'm asking.
But I'm not even sure if you loved him more than you loved yourself.
What is love anyway?
You might didn't even know how to properly love at that moment.
Do you know how to bring somebody on when you love?
No, I think it's just accept it. They gotta send a request. You gotta
I don't
accept.
see it.
If they hit the request, then you
Nicole, hit the
accept.
request button, please. All right, go ahead.
But I think sometimes we might not even know how we want to be loved or what love really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think people use that word love really loose. We
Yeah.
use that word love really loose. You say, oh, I love him or I love her. No, you might just be infatuated. Or you might just be there for the benefits. Or no, you might just be there because the sex is good. Or you might be there because you're scared. Or you might be there for certain reasons. Like another young lady I know, I think it would be healthy and it's great for her to be able to come out and speak on things. And she was saying at a certain point in time she was going through things as a young girl and she didn't feel like she was loved in her household. And she was 17 and she wanted to run away. So she was online and stuff like that. And a man had offered her something online. She actually got up and got on a bus and moved to a whole new state trying to get away from her family issues and walked into an even worse detrimental situation to her life. So running from her family and not having that proper connection and conversing with her family and being open, she ran right into the arms of a predator. So while she moved from the state that she was in, she moved to another state and he forced her into prostitution. Once she got there, she was stuck. And she was scared to run away. And he did the threatening thing that he would kill her. And if you run away, she would watch him beat the other girls. And she told me it took her she said a lot of girls or people ask her, well, why didn't you run away? It took her about 5 years to get the courage and strength. So from the age of 17 until she was like 24, or matter of fact, that was longer than 5 years. From like 17 to like 24, she was one of his prostitutes. And she finally got the strength to run away. And she was like, people be asking her, why you ain't been? And she was saying, y'all wasn't in the situation. You don't understand. You don't get it.
Yeah.
So
the mental abuse really comes first.
Right.
It's a game that they play with your whole mental psyche, and that happens first. And so, even when people think it's a lot easier to just walk away, at that particular time, I was making the money, so he couldn't hold me there by money. But when you see a lot of those housewives and things like that, they stay because they need security for their family. They need money. They can't just let their children be homeless. And again, if he's alienated you from your family.
Because I feel like we don't have this dialogue enough amongst each other. I feel like a lot of people are scared and afraid or shy and don't come from their stories. And that's
it can be embarrassing.
And, yeah, embarrassing. But even that's why, and like again, this is just my opinion. I'm no, life expert.
Hold on, y'all got to call.
They have a caller.
WMSK Online Radio.
Hi, yes, this is Nicole. I was calling about
Uh-huh.
how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, I wanted to
Yes.
okay, how you guys doing?
Good
Good evening, Nicole.
Okay, this is good evening, Nicole. And I am calling because I am I was and I said love and they were my ex-husband and what I did was something I never thought in a million years I would have to be someone that really loved me. I got and reason being, you know, like I saw falling, like all of them flip on something, and right before I hit the bottom, my son, it was not his time, my son came and hit him with the bag, he was on the dock, and he Ethiopia, and I couldn't move, and when I came to see, he was yelling at my son. one thing led to another. He said you got a vet, raised my hair. And I talk a lot as far as domestic violence. I also have a talk show. It's a Neeuq show. And like I said, I'm a comedian. But that there changed my life tremendously. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So today in my life, and I was the type of person that as a teacher, it was at the point where I got my hair done, you want to fight. I got my nails done, you want to fight. I'm fighting with long nails on, with 10 designs, with headphones, and nails, because I had to ball my sister. And you know, back in the day, not 48, so back in the day, before 10 designs along fingernails. So you know when you were hit one day, you know how it was like, oh, can you imagine fighting and they popping off baby with nails? So I was for a lot of this young man. And I asked God, the day that I got locked up, I asked God, if you get me out of this, and I not just one day away from my son, I promise you, a guy that they spend money will not be a guy of mine. No, never. And I made it. And that's exactly what happened. And that's the thing in my life. And you know what? For people who's listening right now, I want to say, if you all go through some type of domestic violence, physical, verbal, financially, spiritual, guess what, man? You better get out of it because before it drives you crazy to the point where you don't want to let go of a baby. Because I was at that point. I was like, excuse my language, fuck you. This will kill me. I'm dying. If this will make me away from you, kill me. I wasn't thinking about my only son. I wasn't thinking about my family. I was thinking about how can I get away from this mom.
Right.
You
It's
know
over.
That's powerful.
and today, let me tell y'all, baby, my testimony. I bought them black cars, them fur coats, and all of the diamonds in the world, then I was the highest fly chick there was. But guess what? That meant I wasn't nothing but the next chick, like the next chick, and the next chick, that's out here, that's it, I've been just messing around with 50. And today, the God be my witness, man, I own my own house. Okay, with no drug money. I bought several up-to-date, top-of-the-line cars. Bought my son a car, bought my son in college. Son paid in the son paid for the Detroit line. It got cut. You want to say, so I'm telling you, baby, let me say, it is sunshine, but if you just hold on one more day, you'll be.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing.
for that, Nicole. That was powerful. That was
Yes.
powerful. And I want to say,
You know, me personal, so she knows my story, you know. So when and you know what, I'm gonna tell y'all what I did today. And I know it may be wrong to other folks, but to me, it's right. If I see you and your boyfriend, your husband, your baby, out here, look, I see you in a man's fighting. You know outside my car? I just did it. I go like home show and say, hey, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and come in.
But ain't that dangerous, Nicole?
Time, baby, time.
Is that dangerous?
It could be, but I don't see danger.
But I like that though. I like that though, Nicole. And the reason why I say I like that is because in society nowadays, when stuff can you hear me? I said I like that you do that. I think you should protect yourself, but I like that you do that. But dead and gone right now that could still be alive. It's just somebody stood up and helped out. But we have a society that a lot of people would rather record you or laugh at you or because keep walking rather than screaming out the window or throwing something over there or honking the horn. You don't even have to run over there and get physically involved. There's a lot of things that you can do to just disturb it. If you just scream over there, hey, stop. You know, like seriously, some people will get startled and stop doing what they're doing.
And you're so right. And you know what folks say? It's said when your family knows, right? And they start to, and they constantly say, I'm not getting involved. Girl, she will go back home. It don't matter if she go back home or not. You did what you felt that was God against your heart for you to do. Now if she does, or he, because but what was men say too? So if that person is dumb, I know. right?
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell don't they call the police?
Nicole, that happened to me so many times. They did not call. They did not help. They did not try to rescue me at all.
Right.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They did.
And they don't call. You ain't got to tell me, girl. My neighbor didn't call either. But I
Like
got
any
tired.
space you see.
I got tired. And when he told me, he said, D-I-C-C-A, I'm a kid. And I know that this is a person who keeps a man in the car, and he dragged me down all the steps to my house and pulled me out that front. If he would have got me to his car, he was going to kill me. So my job was for me to protect me and my son. And I tell everybody this part when I speak, right? Because I speak a lot of places. And when I speak, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the Brian Bean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I met that lady.
I said, you know Lorraine Bobby? I said, yeah. I said, remember, she was the lady that cut the house and thank God. She said, yeah. Remember the Brian Bean, the woman set the house on fire. They said, yeah. I said, you know what? Believe it. When I first tell somebody, they give us a name. This one happened to me, y'all. February 27th, 2001. That was the day that changed my life. February, freezing outside. He dragged me outside. I had a t-shirt on. Nothing else on. You hear what I said? Nothing else. Because that's the time I sleep at night when I get out the tub. And you know the t-shirt was above everything. And I ran to the next court. And it was 200 degrees. That's a half that. You know what I'm saying? 200 degrees. My face was on fire. You know what I'm saying? So, baby, domestic violence. Baby, we can talk all night about this. You hear what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, this shit is real.
It is.
And
It is.
more and more and more and more. And if we don't have these type of shows, if we don't decide to speak up and help our neighbor, because I know God to love thy neighbor.
Right.
So that means we have to protect this shit. You understand? And you can say my name, you can say my address, but you ain't got me. Because he ain't gonna say that to me because a male that is a woman is a coward. Okay?
So, Nicole, what do you think about women who fail to love themselves first? How do you think that attributes to these type of relationships?
If you love yourself first, baby, you're never gonna allow this to happen. So the first time you and a man get in an argument, guess what? Man, you already know if you see this, transpire head in your parents' lives and your aunties and your older sisters, you know what comes next. So if you don't get away from it, you don't love yourself. So a woman got to love themselves first. If you gotta love yourself first, baby. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what love was. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier.
I respect that
Come on
statement.
now.
I respect that
Come on
statement.
now.
So, but who's teaching who?
I think you're only zoning it in on women though.
So what you mean? Oh, hold on, Nicole. Hold on. What do you mean?
I think y'all only placing this on women. It's not just women that's being physically or emotionally abused.
Mhm.
So you can't just use the term women because I know individuals and I've experienced people in real life that were women and they were the actual abusers. They were the actual aggressors. They were the actual attackers. It was a person, in my family that her and the guy that she was with, they fought like cats and dogs. And every time they got into some type of fight, he will call and be like, yo, can y'all please come over here? Like, yo, I know he would be like, yo, like, I know y'all, the men in her family, y'all gonna come try to protect her. But I want y'all to please somebody witness this because I'm gonna be the one going to jail. I'm gonna be the one getting locked up and stuff like that. And I would be like, that's my family, but why won't you just leave, bro? And he like, yo, I love that. When they got into it one day, he set his phone up, and she was just so like was captured
And Ray.
on the That's what it seemed like on the thing. Like, and we had to, deal with it as friends and family and be able to come to the person and be like, you can't continue to do that. Because in society, for some reason, it's only spit as though as men are abusing women.
Right.
But I know from living in the hood, I know from living in the urban community, I know from coming up where I lived at, man, there's some women that will pop off on you before a man even blink his eyes, bro.
All right, so let me ask you this. So the guy, when he was brave enough to come to y'all and say, this is what she's doing to me or whatever, did y'all treat him like he was like soft or a sucker or?
No, I
Was y'all shocked? I know your heads have been shocked.
Not really. And the reason why because I think if people would be honest and stop having these like facades and these images of a man is so this and that, I think if people would be honest and stop telling lies to the public, it's a lot of relationships out here where people are fighting inside of the home, whereas though the woman might be biting, scratching, hitting, or punching, because I am a man.
Right.
I am not supposed to say exactly. That's my point. You're not going to be like we. That's my point. I think, we need more honesty out here when we talk about society, when we talk about people out in real life world, because I know, domestic violence fall on the man a lot, but I just live in a world where I wish people would be more honest and tell the truth and be like, yo, it's some mad aggressive women out here too that will knock your brains out, and as soon as you try to touch them, you the villain, bro. You supposed to walk away. You supposed to run out the door. You supposed to never do nothing, and she can just like go ham on you. One day this was off of Lock Raven at the Giants. That's the market I shop at a lot. I'm at Lock Raven. I don't know what happened in his relationship. I don't know what the man did. I don't know what he didn't do. But the whole time he walking around in the market, she cursing at him. She calling him out his name. He got his son in the car. They froze in the car, and he's like, "Can you chill?" Like, she slapped him. And like I'm saying, I don't know if he was acting like that because it was the public or that was just him. But she slapping him, she kicking him, she doing all type of stuff in the market, right? Nobody called, not even me. And I had to learn from this. This taught me a lesson. Not even me. Nobody called or stopped it. When it got into the parking lot, he loaded the car, right? And he was like, "Look, just take my son home." He like he's tripping. For some reason, I was parked not far from him. He loaded the groceries and said, "Take my son home." She wouldn't get in the car. She kept following him and hitting him and all that stuff. I don't know if, like I said, it was a part of the relationship or we just got that frustrated. He slapped her in the parking lot. Do you know about 7 people in that parking lot called the police? Not one person called the police when she was beating that man up inside of the market the whole time, walking around. No cash register, no manager, no customers. Not one person called 911 when that woman was slapping that man around the market with the sun there. He hit her one time, and it was mad people on their phones like, "This man is beating his woman." And I'm sitting there like, what? To the point where as though I stayed and waited for the police to come, and I gave my report and everything, because I'm like, nah, I watched it. And from that point, that even made me change, like, yo, because I even felt bad. Right. I'm like, wow, yo, like, I seen her being aggressive and abusing this man. And I don't know. I can't even explain that. I ain't do nothing. Right. And I watched her slap him and do everything. But he did one thing. They picked the phone up and called, and that man went to jail. And I think that was wrong. But that happens a lot in society.
It does.
That happens a whole lot.
It does. Well, men need to step up and speak out if they're being abused.
But like she said, now you soft. If you make a report saying, "Oh, my wife had slapping me or abusing me or punching me," Now you soft, and then it's documented soft. Seriously, like society wants men to be like robotic or something. If we cry and show a woman too much emotions, and that's what I don't like. It's like women say they want all this love and compassion and emotions and feelings from a man, but once a man showed that, now, oh girl, he was crying, or oh he's soft, or oh he was all emotional, or girl, he was doing this and doing that, but didn't you want that side of him?
So one of my fellow radio hosts, Arlene, what's the name of your show? Lady Blue. She has a couple of shows, but she is a domestic violence advocate, and she was saying she was provoking and doing what she knew to do. Talking was not an option. That is the problem. Many women only expect violence and will provoke it to feel normal.
I believe that. That's true.
She knew that to be normal, and she did it until he did what he did.
I think that's true. That then I kind of was addressed and touched on that, and I was saying a lot of people, that is their norm. That is their norm. Like because who I am and how I speak and connect to a lot of people. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who are more comfortable in dysfunction. When you try to match that person up with somebody who's not into the yelling and the fighting and the tussling, they don't think you really love them. They don't think you're really into them. It's like that aggression and that level of physical, some people really think that's love, or oh girl, he love me. He crazy, girl, he love me. Like seriously, like some of the conversations that I have with women be blowing my mind when I hear women be like, he crazy, he love me though. And I be like, yo, that's not love. Like
he called me 20 times a day. He
love me. I can't do nothing. Like that's high levels of insecurity. Like I'm not at the point where it goes, I want my woman to not look beautiful because I'm feeling like, oh my God, other men and women looking at us, so I don't want her to be beautiful. Right. Don't get your hair done. Don't wear nice jeans.
When I got my hair done,
what I don't like
that
is,
day.
And I'll be honest, what I don't like is the extreme exposure of the body.
Right.
Because I'm big on.
So you gonna hit me for that?
I'm not gonna hit you. That's not what I'm saying. We don't have a conversation.
You gonna make me change my clothes?
No,
cover that up.
See, you're not listening. See, she always tell me funny. What I'm saying is, I believe in high levels of fashion and I believe in class. I believe a woman can be extremely sexy and classy at the same time. I don't connect with showing all of your body off to being, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, so don't take me, people have different opinions and that's just mine. I think too many women are too revealing of their body. And I'm not saying that's not my right and that's not their right, but I feel like nowadays it's promoted too much at a high level that even the young girls don't cover themselves up. These young girls' clothing is too provocative. They got the shorts showing everything they wearing, the bras, the shirts, and I feel like it's a time and a place for that, in my personal opinion. And it's like nowadays we too sexually aggressive. We too sexually aggressive. And I'm not going to be abusive or aggressive to my woman because she want to get pretty and look nice and get dolled up. But I'm not into you being like overly exposed.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right, so let me ask y'all this. So a guy on my page is saying there's a difference between hitting a woman and hitting her back. What do you think about that?
It's a difference.
Is there a difference?
That sounds ugly. But it's a difference, though.
Is there a difference with hitting a woman and hitting her back?
I think what he's trying to say is kind of what I was addressing. I'm not saying it's ever right for a man to hit a woman, but I'm daggone sure not saying it's ever right for a woman to hit a man either. And I think sometimes women take that to their advantage. They look at it like, I'm a woman, you can't dare hit me back. So some men feel like if you hit me, you get hit back. Actually, as being someone that works with kids, I know mothers who teach their kids that, son or daughter. I know mothers who teach their sons if she or he hits you, hit them back. Don't just go around hitting people, but if they hit you, hit them back. So if you are a young man and your mother taught you that since you were a child growing up, and she said, son, don't ever hit a woman. But if she hitting you, she deserves to get hit back. Then what? He was taught that from a child.
All right. So Melvin's, he's saying the difference is that she has to see the consequences or it will never stop. I'm not saying fight her like a man, but she got to feel that sting. Come on, Aisha.
I think that's his ideology, though.
What do you think, Wesley?
I don't
So
think
if I
that-
hit you,
That's
I hit you because I checked your phone and you was doing something, and I slapped you like, what are you doing looking at that vixen on your phone?
See, that ain't nah. I ain't about to slap her back. You feel me? Again, what I will say is the problem, in my opinion, is people don't know what love is and don't really know how to love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, you can't properly love someone else. If you love yourself, it's certain things that you're not going to do, and it's certain things you're not going to allow. You don't have to be physically abusive to get your point across. And people don't understand that. Like, to show somebody you serious and you really mean what you mean, you don't have to physically abuse her. It's other ways you can show her, like, yo, I'm not playing with you. And it
What
just
you gonna do,
it
jack
really
her off?
is.
Like,
No,
what
I'm
you
not
gonna
even
do?
saying that. Like, you can show her.
See, you're not putting your hands on a woman, period. At
So
all.
Stephanie is saying you can't hit someone and expect them not to hit you back.
That's what I'm saying. Some people believe that. Some people believe that.
Regardless of gender, you should both respect each other, not to put hands on one another. You're supposed to support each other, not knock each other down. So Ms. Arlene is saying some women know when they have a man who won't hit them back, and they will exploit that.
I just said that.
You did. Now, even, my husband has never raised his hand to me, right? I still wouldn't test him like that, though, because you just never know. Like when you mention that word enraged, that means like you're very angry. You're not even just like you're mad. You are very angry. And I would never want to take that chance and put myself or somebody else in that position.
And I get that, though, but that's what I be saying. Like, in society, we have to be honest. We can't keep on just saying it's men. It's a lot of women that need to be honest with
Do
themselves.
you wrestle? Like play wrestle?
I don't do that. No, not at all. No slap boxing, none of that. Because that stuff leads to rape.
It do. Sometimes it can lead, but I can't say. I mean, I haven't done it like with my girlfriend and stuff like that.
No, that's what I'm talking about. With
Oh,
your girlfriend or
I don't play those type of games. No wrestling. No.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that's totally out of the picture. But stuff like, no, seriously, stuff like that can be fun.
Right, y'all be play wrestling and like play fighting or whatever, just trying to test your hand.
I don't know if it's called test your hand.
Oh yeah, because I get my husband like that all the time. I be trying to prove and
But you having fun with it though.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay,
I'm telling
that's
you.
what I'm saying. Like,
let me tell you something. When my book comes out, you'll hear a lot more of these domestic violence things. And I was actually the aggressor in the situation.
Let me find out.
I was, and it just felt so bad because I was like, I had enough of this, and here I am beating this guy up. So no matter what he did, I shouldn't have did that. Like I just really shouldn't have did it.
So abuser.
Yes, in this situation. In this particular situation.
Did he ever call the cops on you?
No, he didn't, and thank God. Because I probably went to jail.
see, but that's what I be saying. Like,
so basically, he was my boyfriend, right? Boyfriend.
she over
So
there trashing.
No, we exchanged keys, right? So I had a key to his house, he had a key to my house. So I'm calling him, like his behavior changes up on me all of a sudden. And
He
I'm
was
like,
cheating.
what the hell going on, right? So I said, okay, after a few days passed, let me use my privilege of this key.
Right.
So I pulls up to the house and I can see that he's in there because you can see the TV, the reflection and everything, calling the number, not answering. I was like, oh my goodness, so I'm getting enraged, right? I'm mad now. So I know you're in there. You can't ignore my call.
She about to fight.
So I get out the car, go up to the apartment, stand outside of the door, and I'm listening at the door. That alone should have told me your crazy ass need to turn around and go home, right? So I'm listening.
But you had to see it with your own eyes.
Yes. So listen, if you get angry, go home. Don't, this is like premeditated all the way. I think the statute of limitations passed. But anyway, so I put the key in the door, and so I'm turning it, and he must hear it because I can hear his feet coming towards the door. So as I turn the door, open it, he's there to, meet me at the door. I'm like, well, what's going on? So I step in, like, because I'm coming in, you open the door now. So I go in, and so, I'm talking, I was like, this is really not like you to not answer my phone calls or whatever. And then this little black ass girl come out of the room with his t-shirt on. Oh, I'm pissed now. Oh, I'm real mad. Oh, that's how we do, slap the shit out of him. So I'm fighting him. He's not even fighting me back, y'all. This is what was making it so bad. He's not even fighting me back. He's just, he was like, I know, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I should have been honest. So then he had like a little small apartment. So, everything is just like right there. So I reach over and I grab this frying pan out of his dish drying thing or whatever. And I hit him with the pan. I was so mad. I was like so mad. So then when he started to get the bruise on his face, that bruise, I remember when that was me.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I gotta go. Here's your key. Just put mine in the mailbox. And that was that. I was so angry with myself because I knew how it felt to be on the other end and to see his face start to bruise up and stuff. I felt really, really bad about it. So I'm laughing today. That was a long, long time ago.
Well, what? I'm glad you can, just have that open discussion about that. Because that's my point. She can openly, I'm not saying the guy was right. He was wrong for what he did to you.
Right.
And what he did to you was wrong. But for you to be able to be strong and brave enough to have that open discussion about that, the way you just did, is my whole point. A lot of women will not be honest and open and say sometimes they are the aggressor. Sometimes they are the one that are the attackers. Sometimes they are the one trying to gouge your eyes out. They are the one trying to bang you on your throat or kick you on your penis or, hit you with stuff. They are the ones trying to hurt you. But as soon as a man hit them back or do something, he is automatically the demon. I don't agree with that.
Melvin said if he's wrong, he'll take the hit, but he will not be battered.
So he fighting all the way back.
September says, she wrestles to the bed. Melvin says his wrestling turns into doing it.
Yeah, wrestling can be fun.
No,
I'm telling you, wrestling can be fun, guy. Get that wrestle on.
I don't want no
put in the Ford Nelson.
No!
It's a good kind of chokehold.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to tell you, all chokeholds not bad, people.
Yeah, show him how strong your legs are. Wrap your
Yeah,
legs around his neck. Oh my goodness.
No, I'm sorry, y'all. That's some kinky stuff right there. I'm
She into that. She into that.
I'm not into that. Nope.
So, all right. Another problem that I be having.
She didn't say she was improved.
No, I know she is. I ain't talking about that. Another problem that I be having, ladies, is
what?
Women fight to be on this, like, it's a big fight going on for women to be on the same exact level as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Like women are fighting so hard to be treated and to be on the same category as a man. But for certain places that it's not beneficial, now it's wrong.
Like what?
If a woman hit a man, she good. If a man hit a woman, he's automatically a criminal or something.
No, listen. If he'd have called the police on me, I was definitely going to jail that day, right? Definitely would have been going to jail. Thank God he didn't. Maybe it was that he was too proud, or he felt bad for what he did.
That's not what I'm saying.
He didn't call on me. But you trust and believe. Oh, they are making it equal. Let the woman hit you, and you call, you're definitely
Well,
going to jail.
maybe the law, because I think by law it's starting to kind of be equalized, because if you work in law enforcement, you know better than just regular people that, yo, you coming just to lock the man up because that's the law, but you know for a fact when you pulled up to that scene, the woman might have been going hand, or the man had big scratches on his neck or his face or his eyes, and all you did was lock the man up. Yo, after a while, somebody gonna be like, yo, this ain't even, bro. We got
I think
fix
it's
it.
more so
Like-
society that's making y'all too proud. Your ego way too big. Because if
But that's
you
what I
tell
mean.
them-
It's a societal thing that it's a societal thing that, oh, any man ever hit a woman, that nigga a coward, or he a coward, or he a chump, or he this, nobody's thinking or looking at the circumstance. And I'm not making an excuse for these people, but what I'm saying is everybody don't have the same mental capacity, is what I'm trying to basically say. Every man and woman don't have the same mental capacity. So what one man can take, if that one man can take physical abuse, that other man might not have the same mental capacity that he can take slaps and punches in his face, and he's just gonna sit there or walk out the house and walk out the room. Everybody don't have that. Everybody wasn't raised the same. Everybody wasn't taught the same things. I just gave an example where his mother's out here telling their sons, if she hits you, you have a right to hear her back.
Yeah.
Right.
You do. Yep.
Wow.
That's deep. So
All
back
right,
in the days, you couldn't you would say, don't even hit a woman at all. Back in the days.
You shouldn't hit a woman, but she shouldn't hit you either.
So what you want to tell your 5-year-old boy?
I told Elijah that we are protectors of women. I don't care what society is saying. A man is a protector of women in this earth and elderly. I mean that, and that's my values, and that's my core. A man is a man, and we are protectors of this earth, the elderly, our kids, and our women. And Elijah will know, no, bro, we not like tussling and wrestling and fighting with women. That's not what we do. If she want to slap you, you walk away. You take a couple of slaps until you get out that door. If she want to do all these harmful things, you get up out of there. So you won't be in that situation in no circumstances. But also, I think it becomes a respect
in the
thing.
first grade.
He's not hitting no girl. Right now, he's learning that. I feel like you got to teach these things as the child so they'll learn that and grow into it as a man. If you teach him as a child these things, then it follows along with him. Some of the stuff he pick up on his own from school, and he come home with it, and I be like, bruh, I'm not raising you to do that. But I also have to understand he's in school for 8-10 hours, and throughout those 8 to 10 hours, you learning things from other families that I didn't teach you.
Right.
And from those other families that I didn't teach you, I got to work on adjusting that too.
Right.
And all I can do is try to make you the best young man to be a man that I could be, but I can't save you from everything.
Right.
You know, and over at the school I was just at last year, you wouldn't be able to fathom and understand. From my experience from this last year, there were way more boy and girl fights than it was boy and boy fights.
Yes.
Like seriously, this one class, and I don't even let my students see me upset. I never let them see that. One day I got so upset, I sat the whole class down and I was like, yo, what is wrong with y'all? I said, I'm not advocating for fighting. I said, but since I've been here this whole school year, I have seen more boys and girls fighting than I've ever seen boy on boy. And they like 6th, 7th, 8th graders. And there's boys slamming girls and girls slapping the boys. And like you see more boys and girls fighting in these schools right now, or girl on girl, than you see boy on boy. Like I know in the streets it leads to a lot of gun violence and stuff like that, but it's way more like girl and boy fights going on in these schools. It's a lot of it.
And I find it very disturbing. Like if it comes across my timeline, that's not anything that I would ever share. But I see it, they're like, oh, look what he did or whatever. I mean, I just think it is so cowardice. Even if we don't get to see what happened that caused it, we don't even get to see that part of the video. But the way they're hitting on these ladies, it's not like, oh, let me hit her to get away. Well, let me push her back so I can get out of here. No, he is slapping her to hurt her or punch her.
Again, I think that falls on both parties. And the reason why I think it falls on had to break up a fight. And a young girl that was in the 7th grade, we got grown men telling her to chill out. Face. She would not sit down for nothing. She wouldn't. We got grown men holding her back, telling her chill out. We try to send her to the office. She keeps trying to run around people. And as men in the school, you can break it up, but you can't get but so physical with these kids because then and now they fall on you. So you got grown men trying to do this at a certain way to still protect themselves, but she's so rah up. She trying to run through you. She trying to explode through you to get past the boy. But you know what the boy asked her? And he didn't even touch her. He was like, why y'all girls always on each other so much, but y'all don't give the boys no love? To me, it was a mature statement for him because nice looking little young man in the school. He feeling like he ain't getting no love from the girls. But the girls all on top of me, like, yo, it's a whole nother big subject that I can't even address right now. Like, it's because it's starting in the schools and everything. Like, the girls on top of each other, bro. Like, they all on each other. It's like girls just on each other. And whereas the young men not even getting the same love and value and attention from the boys to the girls no more that he asked them. He was like, he told me, like, yo, you mad pretty. Like, why you always up on girls so much and boys you trying to talk to you? And that one statement set her off. And she wanted to fight so bad. We in there trying to get her, tell her sit down. And you know what her mother did when she came up there? Her mother wasn't trying to talk her daughter down or teach her daughter nothing. Her mother basically acted up more. Right. And that's why I say it's on both parties, because you can have some women that are attackers. Literally. They want to attack you, bro.
I'm going to see you in the parking lot.
Yeah, right. They want to attack you. I ain't letting that slide.
So this is my next question for y'all, right? So who actually teaches you to love? Like, how do you learn that? Where did you get that from?
You get it from your parents. You know, that's where I think you should get it from home.
I get the same thing.
You know, in my home, I have my mother and my father, and my father was always the protector and the provider. Mm-hmm. My mother stayed home with me and my brother, and my father went to work. You know, my mother went through college, you know, whatever. We were still young and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm used to a man providing because that's what I see my father do. Okay. So when these guys nowadays,
that's why you're still single,
right? Are cheap
because you learned from your dad.
Right.
So I want to address that too. No, that's good. That's good. No, I'm not addressing it in a negative way. Okay. I simply, one of my sisters just told me, and out of, no disrespect to my sisters, I love you all, but out of all of them, one of them really is extremely up under me. She watch everything I do. She come to me for everything under the sun. And she told me just recently, she said, Wesley, it's hard for me to date and find a man. And I said, why? You're a beautiful girl. She said, because I compare every man to you, and now they don't like you. She said, they don't even know you, but they don't like you because I compare these men to my big brother. And she be like, yo, it's not a lot of men like you in our community. And
it's not.
Yo, and she say it so often, and she be like, the things that you do, how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you do this, how you do that. She be like, that's what I want in a man now, because that's what I've seen and been taught, and I've learned it from you, and that's what I'm attracted to, and that's what I think a good man is. But she's like, but they not doing that out here. And she's like, so have me being single or making it feel like I'm stuck up because I'm looking for a certain standard, and that standard is you.
Well, just like Aisha had, her great example as a father, what about those who don't have that example, and then they go into these relationships, and yeah.
So that's what that's what Ms. Young said. Could it be what they have seen in their households? So that's what I mean by on every level of life, in my personal opinion, it starts at your household.
It does.
Academics starts at your household. Mm-hmm. Your relationship values and cores starts at your household. The things you believe and how you act and carry yourself start at your household. So if you have a mother that every time you turn your head
Around your shoulder.
Right, you don't have to, and you know, and that's the thing. If he don't have somewhere for y'all to lay down, he's not supposed to get your butt. You don't bring all of these,
but no,
all of
real,
these guys
Yes.
around your children. I know I'm laughing, but you really don't. Like, I don't get that. Like, people didn't even know that I had children.
Yeah.
You don't
and
even
I
know
love that.
children.
But you know what though? We so, we have normalized so many things that we shouldn't do that when you look at it and say that's not the right thing, you get looked at wrong.
Exactly.
Like honestly, I'll be real on air and let y'all know it's so many women that might look at me and be like, yo, he's stuck up because I have certain morals and values. I'm looking at it like, yo, you got a son or daughter, like I'm not coming over your house at this time.
Right.
Put your child to bed, or I just met you. Like you shouldn't have your son or daughter around when you're not even sure of me. That's how I am. Like,
Right.
but a lot of men don't care about that.
Because this is the thing. You put these kids to sleep and you think they're asleep.
Right.
And they're listening to everything. They're seeing everything. Probably got mirrors under your door, all kind of nonsense. Children play too damn much to be having them in the house and you doing adult things. Absolutely not.
No.
If you don't have a house that you can go to or you can't pay for a room, he probably don't need to have your butt because he probably can't offer you anything anyway.
And I'm not even saying be lonely and all that stuff, but what I am saying is once you have kids, you have set your life up in a different way.
Yes.
And once you have
I get
kids,
that.
you have to protect those kids. So if you feel like you want to get your rocks off as a man or woman, if you have children, you have to set these things up a certain way.
Yes.
Don't have the man or woman around your kids and you just met this man a week ago.
If we want to talk about
like,
that,
what are you doing? Like,
we're definitely going to go into
you
that.
don't even know him.
Right.
Like, you don't even know this man.
We
Why
want
is
to
he
talk
around
about
your
that.
kids?
Because we have so many women whose boyfriends molest their kids, boyfriends kill their kids, women, I mean, it's just all kinds of stuff. So we're going to talk about that. I don't know if there's a month dedicated to that, but I definitely want to talk about that because you get some women who be so weak for these guys that they're willing, have sex with my daughter. Or I mean, it's just a whole nother topic. I mean, because we can go on like the stories that
Mental
you
health,
hear.
mental health.
Yeah, or you don't love yourself enough, so you figure, well, let me give everything that I have of me, even if it includes my daughter. Let me give everything of me to this man. Maybe he will love me more. Love yourself enough, ladies. Love your men. Love yourself enough that you know where your limit is.
Right.
You know where your limit is. And and it's sad because the number to call in is 570-763-9675. You know what your limit is. You should at least know how much you're willing to give. But sometimes, you just give way too much. You lose yourself.
And that right there, I don't agree with. I feel like when you in a relationship, you both should be able to flourish and grow in the categories that you love. But I feel like sometimes people get in relationships and one partner gives up way more of themselves to be with somebody else. But I feel like if you love somebody, I want to see her be successful just as well as I want her to see me to be successful. And you should be able to figure your schedule and your lifestyles out, whereas those both partners can manage to do what they're doing. Like if I don't know. I even be like, God, what's up with you? What's up with you, Cal? You feel me? Like seriously, because like when I was in the street, and people who personally know me, when I was in the street and I was sleeping with any and every woman I wanted to, your women won't leave you. You can have like 5-6 women that know about them and they won't leave, especially in our black community.
But
it's like you can do so much. I don't know what you getting, but yeah, you probably getting. You feel me? But what I'm saying is, you can like. When I was in my doing my thing, like seriously, when I was doing my thing, I had mad like women just lined up and it was crazy. Like, but it was like they wouldn't leave. But now, since I've elevated and I'm at a different place in life and I don't believe in certain things, I get looked at as West weird now, or West tripping, or West stuff. And I'm looking at you like, no, yo, I'm trying to respect you more than you respecting yourself. I'm trying to tell you that your son is not even in the bed yet. I'm not coming over there. I don't know him. You don't even know me yet. And then secondly, yo, I know you feel me, you want to get your rocks off, but you don't even know me enough yet to even let me insert myself in you. And it's like a lot of people not moving on that standard. A lot of people not moving on that wave. People weren't around here just getting knocked off. Like, seriously. Like, it's so easy to have sex with women nowadays, but it's so hard to find a wife. And I want more women to call in and speak on that. Why is it so easy to have multiple sex partners for women, but it's hard to find like a real wife that you can take home and be like, yo, yeah, she the one. And if y'all gonna be real, call in. Because y'all can't be fake with me. I know a lot of women. And it's women that's married, still sleeping with other men. It's women that's in relationships, still sleeping with other men. It's women that's single and she got 4 sex partners. Y'all can't keep on blaming it on the men. What's up with y'all?
All right, ladies, you hear him.
Call in. What's up with y'all? I'm coming for y'all. I want to know. Seriously. I want to know what's up with y'all. Like, don't keep saying this on the man now. What's up? Let's get it. Call in, comment. I want to know what's up with the women.
Come on,
that
ladies. We got that girl power.
Is married men, you know he's married, and you still try to sleep with him. It's men in relationships, you know he has a girlfriend and children, and you still want to sleep with him. You a woman, and you might be single, but you got like man's partners that you're sleeping with. How can you continue to only say it's the man's fault when there's a lot of women carry themselves that way? Talk to me.
That's tough.
It's going to be
So
that
that's taking
honest with you.
That's,
With that.
I mean, that's taking us back to the side chick conversation that we had.
So she said it's the same. Men did it. Why can't we?
Oh, okay. Here go a woman right here. Maybe all they want is the D. You're only good enough for that D. That's a woman talking. I didn't say it this time, but I'm saying maybe that's all you.
But remember the percentage that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
What was my saying?
The 500,000.
The 500,000. There you go, right there. That's why so many men. And like I said in the beginning, I think there's a lot of this is the man's fault. But I also feel like that's why it's such a small percentage of women that get treated a certain way. You know why? Because if women want to be real, call in. I like it raw. You can talk to me. It's a lot of women out here that's just out here having sex. I got mad homeboys, mad friends, mad brothers. I know a lot of people in the city. There's a lot of women out here just getting knocked off. So but my point is, why is everybody always saying that man a dog when there's millions of women out here that's just look at social media.
I don't know about millions. I mean,
yeah, whatever. Look at social media.
But I do definitely believe in sexual autonomy, whether you are male or female. You know, don't ever get yourself trapped in these situations.
I mean, that's how I feel.
But you can't. Other people's expectations. Don't do that, because then you find yourself in these relationships, and all these other things are happening because you lost yourself. So, what's the difference between loving your mate too much and giving up too much of yourself to be with a mate?
What's the difference between loving your mate? What?
Loving your mate more than you love yourself, and giving up too much of yourself to be with that mate.
I can't speak on that because I don't think I'm giving up.
I don't know. You gotta give up something.
I gotta give up something like what?
I don't know. Some stuff gotta be given up in relationships. You can't do everything the same. It's about compromising.
Okay.
It's about sacrificing.
You know what?
I'm not saying
I might cook a little more.
Okay. I like that. Ooh, I like that though. She's doing something different. Like, in a relationship, I don't feel like you should throw away who you are.
Right.
Just to be with somebody. You know, all right.
You're not throwing yourself away, but you're definitely giving up something. And remember when I was talking
I do think you need to give up some stuff.
Right. Remember when I was talking about when you have that guy who wants to have more than one wife? I can't be a second wife because I'm not giving up that much to make you happy. I'm not doing it.
So that's different. That's different.
That ain't different because it is some relationships, and again, I've done it several times. I've done it. I've given up so much of myself that I've lost myself.
But I also feel like you need to have these discussions before you even get into a committed relationship. Because I've seen a situation where as though a woman knew her man was a heavy clubber. He was in the clubs.
I'm gonna tell him something.
Like 4 days a week. He was in the club before she got with him.
Looking for a girl?
No, that's just his thing.
That's
just his thing. Like it's certain groups of people who go to like happy hours and clubs and lounges like mad days a week. It's people out there that do that. Like I really know people who go to the club and happy hour all the time. But what I'm saying is
he was single, right?
He was single.
Okay.
But when the woman and him got into a relationship, she wanted that to fall back and cut down. But he was telling her like, look. You knew I was doing this before we even got together. This is my thing. Like, and no, they ain't meet at the club. They ain't meet at the club, but she knew that's what his thing was. But in my opinion, it's like
he should give that up.
He should cut it down for her. But at the same time, she knew that's what he was when she went into the picture. Right. So sometimes I feel like when you get with a mate, don't get into a relationship trying to change somebody. Get with somebody that meets as many of your standards and expectations as possible so y'all can grow together instead of getting with somebody that's totally off the scale and then you trying to make him. Y'all ever heard the man saying, you trying to compare me or make me to be somebody that you got made up in your head? So a lot of men be feeling like, yo, you knew who I was when you got with me. You are arguing with me or fighting with me because you got another type of style of man made up in your head that you're trying to make me. And I feel like that happened in a lot of relationships as well. You knew what type of man you wanted or you was into, and you trying to form me into that. And that's not what I was. What about that?
That's tough. I think I was talking to somebody about that not that long ago. And, you know, sometimes when they show you who you are, who they are,
believe them.
Believe it. Don't, you know, oh, well, baby, you know, he's stroking you. Don't fall for it. I'm telling you.
What'd you say, Ebony? His old ass need to be in the house.
Yes. But, you know, the club scene is hot here lately. So
what's your homegirl over there saying? I heard you say I'm telling her. What's she talking about over there?
So Stephanie says, I don't know. Why is it so hard for a good woman to find a man who doesn't play games?
Right.
But to you, Wesley, they are out there. You just have to find them.
Man, they hiding.
He said he's hiding. They're hiding from him, Stephanie.
They hiding.
DeAndre, 570-763-9675. Look at the comments.
I can walk out the front door and bag 5 joints to sleep with. Where the wives at? Well, somebody had this rap song that said, all these women in the club with a bag. And I be feeling like, all these women I can have sex with, where the wife's at.
But you know what? So, and again, so as your little sister told you, you're like an anomaly. Like nobody else is like you, right? So, you know, I mean, you know, you don't want them to be naked, but that's how they get all your attention.
No,
right?
A woman that get my attention being naked.
They're not getting your attention.
I might look at her and be like, she's fat. I'll babe. See, I'm real. If she got the crazy hind parts and all that, I ain't gonna say it might not knock it down, but what I will say is I'm not looking at her as wife material.
When you saw her big butt and you did it to her, you
well, that was the old me. That was the old me. I was knocking down all the big butt avenues. All the big butt avenues, all the big breasts, all that. I was knocking big breasts with the big areolas on them. I was knocking it down. That's how I used to live. But what I'm saying now, that's my point I'm trying to make to y'all. So my point is, when I was in the groove of just having sex and sleeping with a bunch of women, it was so much more easier and smooth to live that lifestyle to just have sex than it is to live a lifestyle and saying, I want to walk a better path. I don't want to mistreat women. I don't want to use and abuse them. I want to find a wife that me and my little guy I can take care of and go home to. You feel what I'm saying? Because they looking at me like, yo, you step up.
Ladies, you come right up to my boobs. All right. So September is saying those men are scorned. Real talk. She didn't say you per se are scorned, but she said men like you are scorned.
Well, see, I don't think that you should judge the women by what they
scorn. No, I think you.
Stephanie said,
you wrong, Steph.
No, that's not Stephanie. That's September. Stephanie says you won't find her hiding. No, Stephanie, he's saying that the women are hiding from him. Those wives are hiding from him. She just said, just hold off on the D till you know for sure.
That's cool. That's cool. See, y'all making it jokes. I'm speaking on society. Society right now, they getting knocked down out here. Y'all not gonna sit here and be fake to me because I know too many people, bro. I know too many people, and there's too many women out here getting knocked down. Y'all can laugh and joke if y'all want to. I know too many people out here just getting knocked down.
She's saying clear it up. Your wife can't have a big booty.
No, I want all that.
That's what I'm saying. I think that Wesley, you should stop judging.
That's not judging.
I
know what I like. If you like some man, a woman told me, hold on. No, you use the wrong term. You use the wrong term.
Let me finish.
All right, go ahead. Don't use the wrong term with me then.
Okay.
They're trying to use the wrong term. Go ahead.
A woman showing her cleavage or whatever, having a little short dress, you're gonna judge her and think that she might not be your wife just by she's showing too much, she's doing too much. But that might be the one that challenged you the most.
That's not what I said.
So what you saying?
See, when I try to speak on it, you wanted to keep on going.
No, you were trying to cut her off.
Right, because she was wrong, and sometimes when you're wrong, you need to be shut down right there before you continue. Yeah, because she was wrong. She was wrong, and I let her do a little thing, continue to speak on what she was doing.
Hold on, coming in. WMSK online radio.
I am picking
over by Neeuq.
What's going on?
How are you?
I got to take Wesley. You had told about
Wesley, your fellow man is saying you're in trouble.
Can you say enough and speak?
Oh, he hung up. We lost him. Oh man.
He ain't know what he talking about, man.
No, he
Don't
said,
get over here. Come on, bro.
Come on, it's 8:36. You got to call back. What did he say? Hold on, let me see. Lord forgive him. He is telling our secrets. LOL. Steve Harvey.
See, that's what I'm saying. They don't want me to put this out here for y'all. See what I mean? They don't want me to give y'all the real. I'm trying to tell y'all, if you go on any social media site right now, if you see a woman, she could be working on her PhD, she could have a small business, and she could be very well dressed and well kept, right?
Right.
And she could be a woman that has high standards. That woman probably got 300, 500, at the most 1,000 followers or something. Then you go look at that woman who's showing her ass and her breasts and her stomach, and her legs and thighs, everything, not living nothing for the imagination. She got 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million followers, and people are making her popular and famous. Why? She's not saying nothing intellectual. She's not doing nothing that's uplifting. She's not doing nothing that's uplifting women. Only thing she's doing is showing every piece and percentage of her flesh. And she's got 500,000. She's got millions. She's got 2 million followers. And what is she doing? How is she uplifting women? And she's doing nothing but exposing her flesh. But everybody following her and uplifting her. She got endorsement deals. People inviting her to clubs. Everybody acting like she's a big girl on campus. She getting it popping for the women. Girl power. You feel what I'm saying? No,
that's not the girl power I was talking about.
That's what I'm saying, though. But if you look at the woman that's out here, she's taking care of business. She's respectful. She carry herself a little, man, she a little quiet mouse. Ain't nobody giving her big love. That's what I be talking about. Ain't nobody giving her big love.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hitting a point. He says it all the time. And you are so true. She's not going to get that attention. She's not going to get that love. She's not getting any of that. And I'm not sure what you're calling it, whether you're...
Y'all got young girls. See, I go to these schools and talk to these kids. They got young girls nowadays that haven't even attempted to try to be somebody to go to college.
Right.
She haven't even attempted to try to have a trade or something. You know what they saying when I ask them what they want to be when they graduate from college? I got young girls telling me they want to be strippers and video vixens. You know what?
Exactly.
No one is teaching them that self-love.
Right.
No one is teaching them it's okay, because I think it was something that I shared earlier about Neeuq Campbell's or some, I don't even know who the lady is, but her and her daughter were talking, so they're sitting on the steps. So she was saying, the daughter is saying, I don't think boys like me because I'm chubby.
Exactly.
I'm the chubby friend or whatever. So then as they keep talking or whatever, and so she was like, well, I don't think people like me because I'm dark skinned.
Mm-hmm.
So, and her mother is fair skinned or whatever. So her mother is trying to name people. Her daughter was fairly dark. She was like really. So she was named. Oh, like look at Kelly Rowland. She has someone. She's in love. Look at Gabrielle Union. She's dark, and those people to me wasn't dark like what this little girl was looking at or whatever. So she was having an issue with her own image.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like society ain't.
And so she said to her own mother, Mom, you don't know what I'm feeling. You're light skinned. You don't know where I'm coming from.
I feel her.
Yeah, so it's just like, so she had all of these things against her. She was dark, she was chubby, or whatever. And she was like, oh, well, none of the boys don't talk to me because I'm chubby. None of the boys don't talk to me because I'm light skinned. Because I'm dark skinned.
And it's a wave thing that's going on. And I feel her on that. Like, right now, people, that's another thing people don't speak on. That skin bleaching cream stuff is a multi-billion-dollar company around the world. They said it's so big in like Africa and all that stuff, you wouldn't even believe, because those people feel like that black and dark skin is crippling them from being accepted in society and how society moves. That's why I will never conform to it. I don't care what you call me. As I'm out of it, I'll never go back into it. Society cripples us.
And you're absolutely right. And the black men, the long hair, you know what I'm saying? They don't want the natural sister, so to speak, with the locks, the sister locks, or anything like that. They don't want nobody with this hue. They want somebody that's a little bit lighter. Lighter.
That's what she's right. That's what's getting promoted.
That's what's getting promoted. The black sisters is not getting promoted.
And I feel like if they
and then if you are black and someone happens to like you probably have a lot of money, you're on a lighter skin, you got the perfect body, and all that other kind of stuff.
And that's why I'm always saying we need to promote, uplift, and make each other feel good and feel beautiful. And that's why I'm the one that's big on, look, Queen, you don't gotta show your whole body.
I need to see some pictures of his girlfriend.
Oh, my last girlfriend was fat. Was very. She was Puerto Rican, so she was light skinned.
When I say exotic,
I mean, but I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate. Like I don't, and I'll tell you why I was with her. And I'm gonna break it down. And this can be live on air. I'm gonna be real.
Break it down.
I hope she's listening.
No, she probably. I don't know, but I don't care. How my last female became my girlfriend is because at the time I was going through a lot, right? So I'm in school, I'm working, I'm trying to start a business, I'm taking care of my family, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I don't need no money from no woman. But what I do need sometimes is for a woman to come help me get a little smoother on my rough edges. You understand? So I was dating probably like 6 women at the same time. Five sisters.
Listen.
No, listen. I'm gonna be real. I had 5 sisters and a Puerto Rican woman. How she won was, no disrespect, or maybe I had a bad batch at the time. A lot of them wasn't cooking. A lot of the black sisters wasn't cooking. And they they would tell me, oh, you want one of them old women. You want somebody doing that. Yo, I wanted to ain't gonna cook meal. Every time I saw the Puerto Rican chick on my mother's grave, on my mother's life, she had some type of meal. I ain't even had to put the request in. She had the meal already. Anytime I went over her house or chilled with her, or anytime she had a meal. That was one. she had some type of meal ready. I love eating.
So do I.
That was one. When I was with the sisters, they always wanted fast food or order or something like that. They ain't never had no cooked meal. So I'm like, yo, y'all don't cook? And they making jokes like, oh, you must want one of them old time women. I'm telling you, go talk to some of these women and they be like, oh, you just want an old time. Ain't nobody cooking in the kitchen no more. Boom. That was one strike. Secondly, I'm in school. I'm juggling a whole bunch of stuff. All the other chicks, they really wasn't even like that much caring about what I had going on. They just wanted the fun. You feel me? They wanted fun. Her, she was interested. She like, what you studying? What you going to school for? What you in? She saw my heavy workload and she even wanted to assist. She like, look, I see you got like 5 papers you got going on.
So she was on your home.
I knocked one out too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn.
Gotta charge him for that paper.
I'm like, damn, yo. She coming in, she doing that too. So she cooking for me. She interested for me going to school. So like that.
She's doing your homework.
She had me. No, she wasn't doing my homework. She was interested in helping, assisting is what I'm trying to say. She ain't coming to carry me. I'm good. Okay. So she came in, she did that. Then, what blew my head off, every time I took her out somewhere, the very next time we did something, she was like, nah, I got this time. She wasn't just on some everything on you.
Right.
She knew my money was long, but everything wasn't always on me. If I went and took her to the Wizards game, she comes surprising me. We going to Miami with some other flights that she didn't set up without me setting up. So what I'm saying was, just as much as I'm the same until I pick.
No,
she just won.
Up until the point where she
won, bro.
No, up until the selected her as the winner of the contest.
Everybody got the same.
So you was taking them all to the Wizards games.
They got the same.
Okay.
Everybody got the same until the person won.
So Renee on my timeline says you are one of the few men who will prefer a woman who can cook over looks.
He ain't saying nothing about the looks now.
See, I ain't say that. I don't want to get too deep because then y'all, you feel me? I don't want y'all to try to bury me alive. I only date.
Don't run, girls.
Women.
See, look. So again, you're going to fall right into that same category. So an average person with short nappy hair don't have a chance. A chubby girl not going to have a chance because again, you're just like, and even if she's not showing off her butt, she's not doing all of these other things. You are feeding into that same stereotype.
That's not feeding into a stereotype. Everybody,
it is.
Look, a woman told me just recently, she said, Wesley, you are one of the most attractive men and well-dressed men that I've seen, but you're too short for me. I wasn't offended or upset. I am 5'7" and a half.
Don't put that half.
I get my half.
I don't think you're 5'7".
No, you don't get the half.
I say I'm 5'6" and a half, and I know I'm taller than you.
No, you're not taller than me. I'm 5'7", bro. You're not taller than me. No, you're not taller than me. You're not taller than me.
Oh, we will get to that parking lot sooner than later.
You will.
Yes.
You're not taller than me. I'm 5'7". I've been 5'7" for years, and she used to dating men 6'2". I don't care about that. She hurt my feelings.
But no, that's different.
That's not different. Oh my God. That's not different. If a woman prefer a certain height, it's not different for me to prefer a certain look or style of a woman. It's no different.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Because how she gonna be 6 feet and then she
wasn't 6 feet though. She wasn't 6 feet.
So what was she? She was what? 5'7", 5. Women.
She was the same height as me.
That's odd. That's
no, it ain't. Kevin Hart's wife mad taller than him.
And she probably loved him for the money.
Right.
But
she probably do. But my point is, if we both 5'7", we can swag that out. What you mean? We both 5'7". That's swaggy.
I said I'm 5'6" though. He said he 5'7".
You're not taller than me.
We gotta see when we get to the parking lot. We gotta check this out. Definitely gotta do a test. But you know, again, yeah. So while you have your preference,
Right.
you know, you like what you like. Can't nobody take that away from you. But I can see that you're not going to. So, ladies, let's back up. So, out of 5 million women, only 500,000 will fit the mold as to what Wesley is looking for. That means that she has to save herself. She has to save herself. She cannot share herself. So
I ain't say save herself.
Yeah,
no.
She got
She just don't gotta be running out here being ridiculous. I don't expect no woman that I walk into her life today and I'm just meeting her to not have no sex partners going on. I don't expect that because we living in the real world. But I don't expect her to be out here getting slung around town.
But when he gives her the D, she has to cut off all the other D's.
Oh yeah. Sure. I ain't getting sick for her.
Listen, if I got sick 6 months ago and you come and you're the only one, you're getting sick, no matter if she has 1 or 100. So that is not going to work, my friend.
Bro.
So you can't
be ugly. Argue for these
women be fat.
You can't be ugly. You can't be fat. What?
You gotta have some money.
I ain't saying nothing about. I got my own money.
Well, she can't. You don't want to broke money.
I have my own. What I will say is no. Listen. What I am saying is. No. Don't believe that. Don't let them speak for me. I have my own mouth. I have my own vocals. Listen. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. A woman who's working and striving for something in her future, but she is not there yet. Oh yeah, she's welcomed. I'll take her. But if a woman that's sitting around lounging and ain't doing nothing, I don't want her because you don't see me lounging. Everybody in my city and outside of this city know that I get up every morning and do a bunch of things in one day. I'm never lounging around. So if I am not a slouch as a man, why would I be attracted to that in a woman? So I'm not judging, oversized women. They got men that love them too. But if I'm working out every day, I'm doing my bars and my crunches, and I'm getting it popping, I'm running my miles. Let's get it popping, Mom. Go to the gym with me.
I don't know anybody by the name Jim.
I'm not skinny.
Well, I'm not going to the gym. I don't know anybody by the name Jim.
Y'all think I'm skinny? Am I skinny? I ain't skinny.
Now he's showing
so in order to,
you see the guns, baby. Right. Look at the guns. That ain't skinny right there. Oh, let me turn the camera real quick. Y'all see the sweat and everything? Yeah. That ain't skinny right there. He can't even push that down.
Right. So the thing that I want to say about that, so on a serious note, so if I didn't love myself, I'd be like, damn, well, let me go out here and look good for Wesley. Let me find out how I can, look good for Wesley because I know what he likes or whatever. And that's how you get a lot of
look good for me, baby.
So I'm out here, I'm getting rhinoplasty to make my nose.
See, I ain't say none of that.
But listen, if I don't have it, but I really find interest in you and I know that that's what you like or whatever, what's wrong with your face, Wesley? And I know that that's what you like or whatever, so I go out here and I try to alter myself in order to look good for Wesley. Is a lot of people who do that. That's kind of like what attributes to that mind frame that this is what I have to do. I have to go get my butt filled in. I got to get my hips filled in. I got to get my stomach flat. I got to get my boobs lifted. I got to put the 37 inches, so I can look.
That's what they want, though.
No, that's what you want, too.
That's not what I want.
That's what you
I
want.
want a natural, beautiful woman. It's a such thing as a natural. It's a such thing as a natural. I can show y'all pictures of women that I done dated. They're naturally beautiful.
So if you're ugly, you're shit out of luck.
They're naturally beautiful. I like naturally beautiful women.
If you're ugly, you're shit out of luck.
I like naturally beautiful women. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Y'all don't say nothing about the women that only go at the basketball and football players. Y'all don't say nothing about the women who only go at the 6'5" tall dudes. Y'all don't say nothing about the women that only go to the dudes that making 100, 200, 300, 500,000 a year. Y'all don't say nothing about them. So don't say nothing about Wesley loving a beautiful, naturally beautiful, well-dressed, well-mannered, well-cooked, and grinding woman.
You're right. So you just added some to the 500,000. You're just as
It's
shallow as I
for
thought
him.
you were.
Right. How can y'all call me shallow?
Everybody has a bit of shallowness too.
I ain't shallow. I just know what I want. That's what's wrong with that.
You're right.
You feel me? If a woman can say, Wesley, you are so handsome and well dressed, but you too short for me, I was not offended. I'm short. I don't get upset about that. That don't bother me because me being my height had not stopped me from doing anything in life. When I used to play, when I used to be like out there, I used to could dunk. I can run very fast. I'm extremely strong. I'm not mad that I'm 5'7". Who cares?
Because you're still getting them right.
Because I'm still me.
And you still getting them right. You still pulling them right.
Shallow.
You feel me?
As he flexing his arm.
You feel me? I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym out working your 6'5" dude. I'm out working them.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. All right, y'all. It's time for us to get out of here. It's time for us to end his little rant that he has on over here. He does look good, so if you're not matching his beauty, you're not good enough. So don't even try it, ladies. Move on, you know. But ladies, love yourself. Be okay with your long titties, your flat butt, no hips. Be okay with it. Don't try to change yourself to meet a Wesley, because guess what? Everyone that he turns you down.
Don't try to change yourself to meet a Burt. Nigga sitting on the corner and ain't doing nothing for you. You can try to be beautiful for me, because that's what I take care of you.
They saying, look at what you're not gonna be able to see his height.
I take care of you. Yeah, it's a girl. I'm fit. You feel me? I'm in shape.
I see your little nipples though.
Yeah.
You got work to do some chest work.
My nipples poking.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna see y'all next Monday. Make sure you're tuning in to Open Wild with Neeuq on WMSK online radio. Check us out on YouTube. We are the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show. We come on every Monday from 7 to 9. Make sure you join me, Wesley Hawkins, my co-host. He's going to be here. Aisha. Oh, she said you're cute. Don't pump him up. He's okay. He's okay. He's small though.
Appreciate you, Mom. Appreciate you.
All right, so we're going to sign out. Let the next show come on. The Controversial Counselor's Corner. Make sure you're listening to my man. Look at his little brother right here, y'all. This be the little heathen that's in here every night. He raised him to be a good little guy. Look at him. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Good night.
Good night. So now let me finish setting up your show. I gotta see this.
Way taller than him. I don't even know why.
I know. Talking about he's 5'7" and a half. I'm like 5'6" and a half.
You've been cutting out.
Wesley, I'm taller than you, baby. I hate to say it. Who's taller, Elijah? me or you? Who's taller?
Boy, bye. Hello.
I'm taller.
Yes.
No.
Exactly. My shoulders, it ain't about that. It ain't about shoulders. My shoulder is up here. You got a longer head than me. Stop talking about, man.
I'm taller. Because I got a longer head than you.
No, they go by shoulders. My shoulders are up here. I got you beat.
No, you don't.
He is a little bit taller than I thought he was.
Yeah,
I'm standing next to you.
Yeah, a little bit taller.
Taller than I thought he was, not taller than you.
Right.
I'm taller than her.
And you know, don't be doing women like that.
I think that
just because they don't look good, that's you don't
What
do
you
that.
mean? Before I even can do anything before I can even do anything, I gotta be attracted first.
Well, you're right, but
like, come on.
But what about
ain't no what about it. Come on, get your paper, bro.
Yeah, I'm sitting right here, baby.
Get your paper. Get this card. Come on.
I don't know.
We're talking about how a person treats you and how
I can't get to
you
how
can't
she
get
treat
past,
me.
you can't
get
past that.
Yeah, hold on.
You gotta look at her first, right?
She gotta be, appealing to the eye to me.
What about the mental though?
I love the mind. All my women are very. The women I date are very intellectual. They are outgoing. I attract a certain style of woman because that's who I am.
Here you go. Huh?
Schooling y'all tonight.
You feel me? I'm
No,
trying
he
to
ain't.
trying to help him.
Schooling nobody.
Schooling him.
He's been
All right,
he's
make
been
sure you.
shallow.
I'm not. This was my college girlfriend, Alicia.
Let me see.
Make sure you
I bet she's exotic looking.
Yep.
she's a black woman.
A black American.
She's a black woman. Like, I don't you mean? Hold on, what is
Even if she's black,
I mean, she's
though.
not like.
See, I don't want the paper. I'm gonna throw this in.
Even if she's black, what does that mean?
Exotic. Haitian.
But if you just gonna dig in their butt, they don't have to look good.
No, they gotta look good for me digging too. Ain't no points of digging in no.
This my book